What is going on, everybody? My name is Brian, but you guys can call me Mr. Creations, and here we are. The gameplay you guys are watching in the background right in front of your faces is some Call of Duty Ghosts on the map Octane. I did get an ARX KEM strike a couple days ago on the map Octane. It's kind of funny, but it is a team deathmatch, full party. I think I was playing Clan Wars at the time, like months and months and months ago, but FAD KEM strike, so hopefully you do enjoy that nonetheless. So anyways, getting to my commentary topic, a lot of you guys have heard this verbatim, and I'm sure you probably don't want to hear me talk about it, but I'm going to be talking about Ebola. And the reason about that, there's been more cases announced of Ebola spreading in the US, which is obviously a more serious thing than it just happening in Africa. So I'm not going to explain the disease. If you guys don't know what Ebola is, Google it. You know, I'm not going to explain that whole thing. I don't have time to explain exactly what Ebola is and what it does. But there was a guy that was in Africa that came over, flew over on an American airliner, and he came, I think it was to Texas. I don't know the full, I don't know the dude's name, but I know the whole story about it. And he came into the South with a family that he had met online, and he lived with them, and luckily didn't end up infecting the mother or her two kids, but he actually had Ebola, went to one of the local hospitals, and he actually died about a week or two ago, if I'm not mistaken, from Ebola. And in case you guys don't know, with that disease, there's no cure for it yet, and you have a 90% chance that you're going to die when you get it. So it's a fairly lethal disease, and there is no cure. That's why it's a really big issue that a lot of people aren't giving the full amount of attention to this disease as they probably should be. A lot of people saying it's being overhyped. I honestly don't think so. A 90% chance of you dying if you get it and there being no cure is a pretty serious thing in my opinion, especially now that it's spreading to the US. So there were actually two nurses that were taking care of this guy. One actually got Ebola, and now we're finding out about a week ago now, the other nurse got Ebola, and she's been shipped to Emory Hospital, which is a very serious major hospital in the United States. And usually they know what they're doing there. But this is something that the US government said you can't get Ebola unless it's transmitted through bodily fluids, meaning blood, saliva, sperm, anything like that. Now, I can't possibly think, because these nurses were told by the CDC to wear their protective uniforms, obviously because this guy was in, a whole plastic tent and everything like that, quarantine. They were trying to make sure that he didn't get the disease out. And so if Ebola is only transmitted to another person through bodily fluids, then when these two nurses are provided these uniforms by the CDC that should cover you, how they both got Ebola is kind of a mystery, and a lot of people are starting to think that the US government's been lying to us, that you can get it through the air and through touching other objects like a common cold rather than just bodily fluids. That would explain why the two nurses got it, because they'd know taking care of a guy and going through the courses that the CDC told them to go through, they'd know not to trade bodily fluid with a guy that has Ebola. So I'm sure they didn't do that. They must have gotten it from touching surfaces he did, or through the air, something like that. And that's a very serious thing, because now those two nurses have Ebola. They're not dead yet, but honestly they probably will end up being dead. And who knows, because they flew out one nurse from Texas, I think the state is where the man was in, and those nurses, and they flew one nurse to Emory. So it's a huge thing that people don't really realize. This disease is extremely deadly, and there is no cure for it, and it's spreading. Not only one person had it in the US, he died now. Now two other separate women have the disease, and honestly, stuff like that can just spread so easily, and that's why I think it needs to be quarantined and dealt with. I honestly 100% think the US should not be flying any flights from Africa or to Africa for at least the next month or 2 or 3 until we control this disease. That's something that Canada and France and Germany did. They cut off all flights to Africa, which is something I think President Obama should be doing, but he hasn't for some reason yet. I honestly don't know what he's waiting for. If the majority of the other European countries in the world are doing it, you'd probably think it's a good idea to try and quarantine this disease and not bring it to your own country. As well as he sent those 3,000 army troops to go and deal with the disease in Africa, and 1,000 Marines, which, by the way, I honestly, personally, don't understand why you're sending military people over there when they're not trained for that. They're trained for combat. The whole reason we sent the Red Cross and the CDC and all these people over there is because that's their job, the Peace Corps, on and on and on. I don't understand why you'd send 4,000 troops over there to possibly get infected, die, and then the others that didn't die, bring it back over here and spread it like wildfire, like I was saying. I honestly, I don't get Obama's thinking sometime. I'm not trying to bash him. I just think that the American public needs to be more aware of how serious of a disease and issue this really can be and how bad it can seriously get. But I know this was kind of more of a serious topic, but I wanted to get off my chest. Hopefully you guys didn't mind my rant. Hopefully you enjoyed the gameplay. And yeah, I guess I will see you guys in tomorrow's upload. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. If you enjoyed it, remember, leave a like, subscribe if you're new. I would appreciate it so much. And hopefully this video was somewhat informational to you guys that didn't know what was going on. And yeah, I'll see you guys in tomorrow's upload.